Hey, it's me, Renee. I'm back. So today I'm here from August TBR. It's gonna be a bit of a interesting one. Interesting. Interesting in a way because some of the books I'm gonna talk about are I'm gonna talk about some of the books. Some name was my train of thought. Yeah, some of the books that I want to read in August, I don't want to read yet. Oh, that seems weird. Sorry, I haven't completely figured out plan completely like that. I've nailed to the floor like that. It's written in stone. So I have some books that I want to try to read in August, but like for example in June or July I have like lots of books. In August I don't really have that many books, and there's reasons for that. Reasons number one, I already have I found a like challenge in the I suppose kind of ish in the beginning. Well, I suppose I think it was middle of June. 20 book challenge where you try to challenge yourself to read 20 books for the summer. I did a video of that. I haven't really read that many of those books, but the deadline of that goes out the 1st of September. So I suppose in that way I still have all of August to do that. And a lot of those books are books I think I'll be able to read easily, so it's just kind of prioritizing them. And I suppose, yeah, in June and July, like I had other stuff that I want to do, and like there was other stuff I want to prioritize and stuff. But this month, well, in August, it seems like I can get time to read them. So I'm going to read them. I also want to participate in the history challenge. Yeah, history challenge. It's completely new uh, readathon. So it's hosted by two Justins. Yeah, two Justins. I'll link them both in down below, as well as Bookish Shenanigans. There's so many readathons that sometimes it's hard to remember all the creators and hosts. Anyway, I'll link them in the video, of course. And I'll do a separate TBR for that one. Though I don't really think I'll do like a big TBR for that one for once. I think I'll just do a small TBR, but still. So yeah, that's those two things that now you know that. And other than that, like besides those two stuff, I do have some kind of plans besides those two themes. What I'm gonna read in December, in August. I want to read, and this may seem weird, but I want to read books I don't want to read. Okay, so it's August. It seems like a lot of people they think like they're going back to school and they're going back to work after vacation. I suppose depends on where you are and stuff. I suppose yeah, depends very much where you are in the world and stuff. Like people might have had some vacation and stuff. I haven't really had a vacation really because I don't work that much, so I don't really feel like I need a vacation. So I've been working all summer and all year more or less. But still, and it often seems like people do August and they read books that they were supposed to read in school, or books that I read in school and loved and stuff like that. Though honestly, that's kind of interesting. Story time. Here in Norway, you don't really have that much stuff that you have to read in school. We don't really have mm, assigned school readings. We have like I suppose obviously, but yeah, we have weeks where we focus on some Norwegian authors, and we're supposed to maybe read one or two. But that's mostly like in class, and it's like the whole class reads the same book. I suppose that's often how it's just done in US, but yeah. But like if I want to talk about like I read this and this book in school, I would just like have to talk about three books because we didn't really read that much. Like we read more. I would say like we read more about books than like whole books for school. I suppose yeah, we did like I suppose we did a bit more of that in primary school where like we had like competitions about reading the most pages and stuff. But that was not you had to read this and this book. It was just like find a book you want to read from the library and read it, and then write down how many pages you read. That's the end of it, really, extent of it. So like people will complain that oh they had to read To Kill a Mockingbird, they had to read Tom's Cabin, they had to read that and that book. Like we didn't really have that much stuff we had to read really. So I suppose in that way we didn't really get our joy of reading killed by having to read much stuff we didn't want to read in school. I suppose also probably that depends also on school. But for me, in my school life, in my school pass, that it wasn't really a thing that happened. So yeah, now you know that. But yeah, I still kind of want to. So what I'm meaning that I don't want to read books that I don't want to read is that I want to give books a second chance. I want to read books that might not be completely up my alley, but I heard some good things. I might want to read some books that I heard other people go on and on about how good they are, and I'm thinking like, okay, that might be interesting, so I might read those books. Okay, so I don't really have that many books for like titles for this theme, but I think I might like want to read one or two books that I don't want to read. I do know one of them though. Dearest Blue by Tracy Rees. So Tracy Rees is a Welsh historical author. She writes books. She's ongoing author. Historical author, is it like she's old? I mean, she's alive. She's a contemporary author. She just writes in historical period. Yeah, you get my point. And yeah, so we saw a lot about her. I work in a bookstore, buying. No, not really, but yeah, we saw quite a lot by her in my store, and she's been compared to Lucinda Riley. And this is where it gets interesting because I tried two Lucinda Riley books. I did not get the appeal at all. I thought they were boring and uninteresting, and I just didn't really like them at all. So whenever someone says Lucinda Riley fans should read this and this, I feel like, no, I don't care. I don't care. I'm just gonna close my ears. But like this other day at work, I think it was last week sometime, there was no customers and the shop was clean and stuff. I decided to look at one of the Tracy Rees books and just like look, okay, what's the summary of it? What's it about? And it seemed so interesting. Okay, so the plot was that, okay, so this is Dear Blue I'm talking about, one of her recent ones. And the plot was that there's this rich family in the 1920s in England, and the father of the family has a big, what's it called, party. Lots of people come to the party. His sister, his daughter, is sitting by the party, and in the middle of the party, he starts to have speech, and he says like, "I want to make a little competition." So he decides to have a competition that the one that makes the best love letter will get to marry his daughter. So that's like, what? What? It's a bit weird, really, for a concept of a summary. I thought like, this is interesting. And then, of course, the daughters want to be married to whoever writes the best because it just seems like selling in a way, like selling out your daughter, being just sold in a way. And so she gets her own plan. I just thought that sounded very intriguing. So I'm gonna give this book a go. And I'm thinking also like, often there's a lot of authors that actually say like, I love this and this and this, and then not all the authors that love all the other authors. It doesn't mean that all the authors that one, if author A loves author B, it doesn't mean that you love both, but you can love one of them without liking the other. So I suppose I might really love Tracy Rees. Who knows? I'm gonna give her a go. And then also I wanted to read. Also I want to finish some books. I've started some books this last month that not really for any reasons, but I just kind of haven't finished them. So I think I'm gonna decide to either DNF them or I'm gonna finish them. So like I'm focusing on doing that in August. And I also want to read moment, this book by Richard Pryor. So it's an arc I got from work. It's just gonna check it out what it's called in English. Something to live for. So it's one of those where it's completely in the same Norwegian. Å leve for noe. So it's completely the same in English. Something to live for. And it's supposed to be fun and interesting and like it's a contemporary adult book and seems also kind of interesting enough. It's not somehow like grabbing for automatically, but like might be interesting. I suppose this is kind of like I don't want to read books because sometimes I suppose maybe just grab all the books that are slightly interested, like the arcs at work, but don't really think about will I read it or what. And I think like, okay, I should read this and then check it out and see what it is all about really. Suppose I kind of have some issues earlier. I've read some books from some arcs from work, and a lot of them have just been disappointing. So I mean, I've kind of been reading arcs that because often we get like arcs from publishers and stuff, and I've been reading them and thought like, okay. So my point was to read this book because then I could recommend it to to publishers, to customers. But if all the arcs I'm getting from work are books that bore me, that kind of defeats the point. So yeah, it's kind of been an issue there. Really, should I stop reading or should I read it and then say like, yes, and I can honestly say like I read it and it's not awful. I suppose most of the books that I read aren't awful, but they aren't amazing. So I suppose people always aren't in for like they don't need a big reading experience. They just kind of need something to kill time. I suppose in that way, it's a way of killing time. But yeah, yeah. And then also I want to read specifically Sea Fire, but it's definitely Sea Parker. So this is a mermaid book, and it's a great cover. And also, I don't really know that much about it. I just know that it's a mermaid book, and it seems it's very cool. And yeah, I want to get it in August. So that's really my August plans. Do you have any fun plans? Do you have comments on my plans? And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.